Hey friends, Mrs. Matway here to talk to you a little bit about how to read longitude lines. There's a few key points that I want you to remember before you actually get started with reading longitude lines. And the first thing is longitude lines only measure up to 180 degrees. You can see that here and you could see that here, 180 degrees. You also need to remember that longitude lines measure east, that's east, and west of the prime meridian, which is right here, east and west of the prime meridian. You also want to remember that longitude lines are the lines that are going up and down. See these curved lines here? Those are our longitude lines. So let's get started with actually reading some longitude lines. I'm going to put a point on this map, and it's probably going to be very scribbled, but we're going to try. Right here. There's our point. Change it to red so we could see it a little bit better. And the first thing I want to do, and I want to remember, because this is so important, is these lines are curved. So we have to not only locate the point, but we also need to remember that we have to follow the curve. Because if you don't follow the curve, the line or the degrees is going to be incorrect. Look at that, okay? So you have to make sure you follow that curve. So if I'm looking at this little point right here, which appears to be a little triangle, all right, I'm going to make sure that I follow that curve as best I can. That's pretty good, okay, not bad. Follow that curve. And I now want to determine how many degrees the point is from the prime meridian. Now I can see here that when I drew this line, it is somewhere between the 20-degree east line and 40-degree east line. So it looks to me like it's pretty much right in the middle of those two. And I know that halfway between 20 and 40 is 30 degrees. So I'm going to go over to my sheet right here. I'm going to write in 30 degrees, and you can use the degree symbol. Okay. Now I want to figure out what hemisphere I'm in. Well, I can obviously look up here, and the E gives me a huge idea and tells me that what hemisphere I might be in. It's either going to be the eastern or the western hemisphere. And I can see here that it's E. So E is telling me that it is in the eastern hemisphere, because if I draw an arrow from the prime meridian, I am moving east. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to write in eastern hemisphere, and then I'm going to put the degree and the hemisphere together, and my longitude is 30 degrees east, or you can just do an E for short. Okay. Now, like I said, it's really important to follow that curve. So let's go and try another one. Let's do point A, which is right here. See point A? Okay. Really important to follow that curve as best you can all the way up. Okay. Oh, what happened? All right. And you can see that this one's actually on the line. So it's 40 degrees. So I'm going to go over to my chart. I'm going to write in 40 degrees. I'm going to ask myself what hemisphere it's in, and I can look up and I see this W up here, which means something very important, but I can also draw an arrow from the prime meridian, and I'm moving west. So it's the western hemisphere. So I'm going to go over to my sheet. I'm going to write in western, and then I'm going to add the degrees and the hemisphere together to get 40 degrees W. 40 degrees west. Now, like I said, it's really important to follow the curve. However, there might not be a curve. Let's look at this. Or maybe it's just a little tiny curve. All right, let's zoom in. This is the map of Europe. It's the same map that I used, for the latitude lines. Okay. So let's say we wanted to find the longitude of this city right here, Bodo, right? Bodo right there. Now you can see there's really not much curve. It's a little bit angled here. So I'm just going to follow this as best. Oh, that's all right, as best I can. All right. And I'm going to look at my numbers. I'm going to notice something really important. This is the 10-degree east line. This is the 15-degree east line. So my degrees is somewhere between 10 and 15. And if I count these, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this is 14 degrees. And I'm going to look here. There's an E after these numbers, so it tells me what hemisphere it's in. E stands for, that's right, Eastern. And I'm going to add them both together, 14 degrees east. All right, let's just do one more, just one more. All right, let's look at chem right here, chem. Okay, I'm going to follow that curve as best. Oh, wow. Oh, gosh, Miss Matway. Oh, my gosh. That is not a good following the curve. You can probably do better without a mouse. And I'm going to figure out, this is 30 degrees east right here, 35. Okay, I'm going to count 31, 32, 33. Oh, it's in between 34 and the 35 line. So you can say it's 34 and a half if you really wanted to, but I would accept 34 degrees. That works. I'm going to ask myself, what hemisphere am I in? Well, the prime meridian, in case you're wondering, is actually right over here. Right here. See 0 degrees? So if I were to draw an arrow, just like we were doing before, if I was to draw an arrow, which direction am I moving? I'm moving east. So I'm going to write Eastern. And the answer is 34. We're going to put them both together, degrees east. So now you've watched the video. You took some notes. Use your notes and the tutorial in the video to try some longitude examples. Good luck.